Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Pisces August 18, 2022. The moon spends the day in your sector of work, health, and duties, encouraging your interest in straightening out your life. However, the sun is moving into alignment with Jupiter in your solar house of joy and creativity, opening you up to enjoying yourself more fully. It's about your heart's desire or heartfelt endeavors, passions, and loves. If you are doing something creative, it's bound to be spirited. You can see benefits to romantic matters. It's also a time for feeling especially optimistic and possibly quite passionate and creative. There is a larger-than-life element to your feelings and desires today and tomorrow. Self-expression, personal magnetism, and confidence are themes. You might awaken to hidden or dormant talents. Getting your fitness on before a night out on the town? You're a whole mood, and your love life is no exception these days. This is especially true when considering Jupiter-Neptune in Pisces, bringing expansion and magical inspiration to your romantic fifth house of love, passion, pleasure, and self-expression. Although, with today's moon transiting through warrior-like Taurus and your health-conscious sixth house of daily routines, chances are you're some time to invest in yourself, even if that means putting your notifications on silent for the time being. However, be sure to check your messages, as Mars-Venus will continue to charge up your interpersonal exchanges. Work with your favorite colleague today. As the Sun in Pisces sextiles Uranus in Taurus, you may feel inspired to team up. The Sun motivates your desire to indulge in your creativity and imagination, while Uranus is shaking up your professional commitments. So, you may find a unique way to go about your obligations. You could also pair up with an unlikely coworker or client to execute something truly magical. Whatever you do, go into it with a hopeful perspective. The lovely sextile is perfect for having fun with your projects and coworkers. Even the money gods are behind a call to have your work rather than your money hat on today. With the moon returning to your financial sector early next week, money matters can wait, while the moon's last visit to your work sector before the sun returns is just what untapped income potential has been waiting for. Today is all about trusting your gut on the job front. If your boss is driving you nuts, make fun plans for after work to blow off steam. Throw the stress into the recycling bin and head for a karaoke bar. You may hit a wall today. That is, whatever you are trying your hardest to accomplish could reach a climax of some kind. Maybe you will break through, maybe you will break down. Be prepared to meet the challenge or the celebration with a steady grasp on reality. Be especially attentive to your needs while you work. Drinking water throughout the day is a must. Examine your desk chair and computer setup. Is it ergonomically correct? These kinds of considerations will steer you toward greater awareness of what's to come. Knowing when to call it a day and relax for a while can be challenging for you on this day. Given your energetic and ambitious nature, the added charge from the dedicated and hardworking day should see you going like nobody's business. The question of whether or not you will get things accomplished today is not an issue. But whether or not you'll take care of yourself by balancing things out after hours can be. Make plans for some downtime too. While having the moon in your communication sector during Mercury, the planet of communications, last full week in your relationship sector is an advantage. It comes just as Mars' war on communication barriers is coming to a close. This is something that is benefiting communication across the board, especially so on the relationship front. Yet with Mercury retrograding back into your relationship sector next month and Uranus in retrograde motion in your communication sector by then, nothing is as urgent as Mars will be making out that it is. In a case of perfect timing, the moon is not only in your communication sector during the final days of Mars' war on communication barriers, but just as Mercury, the planet of communication, is spending his last full week in your relationship sector. This comes just as Mercury is also flushing out any issues, and it comes to a balance between your personal and relationship needs. Our eyes in the sky. You should be feeling emotionally refreshed and ready to take on the world. The energy here is great for starting new projects, so if you've been putting aside certain tasks, now would be the time to pick them up and execute your plans. This energy likes to move, so you'll likely get a boost to your endurance as well. Your desire for adventure is highlighted now, which could lead to an impulsive excursion away from home. Humor your whims today, fleeting as they may be, and don't be afraid to step out of your normal routine. This afternoon, the moon cozies up to healing asteroid Chiron, and this aspect could go one of two ways. You could do a really great job of putting someone else's needs ahead of your own, which could in turn leave you with the short end of the stick. Or you could finally give yourself permission to be a little bit selfish. This is the time to think about what you want and then act on it. It might feel unnatural to be so self-serving, but we all need to take time out for ourselves now and again. Just remember to be gentle with others when you're letting them know it's all about you right now. While your attention will be drawn in many directions today, the most urgent is Venus and Mars' last full day in your career sector. Having the moon in Taurus as Venus and Mars spend their last full day in a competitively charged part of your chart and prepare to move to a more social and serendipitous part tomorrow is a huge advantage. The planets of love and passion are as tightly aligned now as they have been, and thanks to the moon you are emotionally engaged. It is an especially quiet day astrologically, as the Taurus moon makes no aspects until it links up with wounded healer asteroid Chiron after noon. This transit stimulates insecurities, forcing us to become our own emotional support system. In the past, especially in our formative years, a fear of rejection caused us to shy away from expressing some facet of our identity. Perhaps we were deemed too loud, too opinionated, or accused of taking up too much space. We might have had interests or ambitions that clashed with familial expectations or ostracized us from our peers. As children, we internalized these complaints and associated them with a lack of safety. The message: if we are our authentic selves, others will abandon us. At this juncture, events occur which provoke familiar anxieties. The moon and Chiron are currently the only planets transiting a fire sign, and burning feelings of anger and resentment could flare up seemingly out of nowhere, directed at those who unknowingly poke old wounds. Although our frustrations are valid, perpetuating harm is no way to reconcile our past. In fact, through these confrontations, we become more practiced at supporting and healing the inner child who craves validation. Be your own best cheerleader now. It is our birthright to express ourselves, take action, and forge new paths, no matter how loud we are or who we might disturb in the process. It is not our responsibility to make ourselves palatable for others, and rectifying this ideology helps us attract true friends and allies. Asking for advice from a trusted source regarding our finances will prove helpful, as they will be able to give us insight and information on the best ways in which we can boost our capital and dividends. On the emotional front, this astrological energy will bring new life to our romantic situations and partnerships. The caveat is that Mars, who is a Libra, shares a minor connection with Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces. That will make it hard for us to make decisions. Instead of moving forward, it's a good time to reflect on the investments before we commit fully to making them. The lesson of the day is to slow down and to contemplate as to what the best choices for us will be. Seeking advice will be beneficial, as long as it's a trusted source who we know won't lead us astray from the best opportunities and results.